Tell me when we're live.
Well, there you go. We're live.
Oh, welcome. Good afternoon, ladies. I had to look outside to see if it was afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 35 of The Pillar Talk. This episode is brought to you by Joshy Boy Edit, JBE. Check him out. If you guys want to get your life captured, check him out at joshyboyedit.com, or you can see his Instagram at joshyboyedit.
For weddings and
for weddings, music
videos,
everything. Get your life captured by JBE. I'm sitting here for episode 35 with Benjamin Boone, a pro wrestler. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ben.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. So, been a professional wrestler since April of 2007. So I'll be coming up on 14 years, if my math is correct, 14 years in the business. Trained originally by JT Lightning, journeyman wrestler all throughout the Midwest, and NXT's Johnny Gargano.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, man. And then a little bit later on, got a little bit fine-tuned by Tyson Dukes and Scott D'Amore at the Can-Am Wrestling School. I'm a staple around the Midwest, the East Coast, and Canada quite a bit. I mean, you and I, all of us were talking a little bit about that off camera before we rolled. But I mean, quite familiar.
You're an international wrestler.
I mean, international than North America, and,
right?
You know, and I was looking to go towards Europe for my first ever UK tour right before things locked down. So, you know, hopefully when COVID's done and over with, you know, I'll be able to go back over, you know, so not go back, will go over. So
I think you're the
UK's watching, by the way.
Oh yeah, they are
right now.
All right.
Craig from the UK.
Hello, Craig from the UK.
Yeah.
Looking forward to coming over there.
Oh yeah, bro. We got the Bachelor. I love your character. I love it. It is gorgeous. I wanted the rose when you came out to the ring, and I was like, I'm not gonna make him give me a rose, dude.
well, hold on. I mean, you know, the Bachelor doesn't discriminate. If you want a rose, I mean, I'd be glad to give it to you. So you have to be worthy first and foremost.
Right.
So
yeah, that's I like that. That is a good one. So, dude, tell me, how long when did you start getting into wrestling?
So it's been about 14 years since I've gotten since I've been a professional wrestler, but been doing the Bachelor character for coming on 3 years now.
Okay.
You know, at the start of my career, I was Big Bear Benjamin Boone. It was a character that was actually started as more of a joke than anything else. Josh Prohibition, he's a respected individual out in Cleveland. Him and M-Dog 20, you know, we're in the backyard wrestling, you know, video games, all that stuff. Like, it was a conversation between him and Johnny Gargano, because of the way that I moved and everything. I was, you know, a little bit over the top, a little cartoony. And he said, like, what if he wore like a bear costume? You know, he would be Big Bear Benjamin Boone. I think that would be hilarious. You know,
it rolls off the tongue.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, instead of me wearing a bear costume, you know, I was more of like a brawler. Like I angled myself more like a Rhino, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those are two of my influences coming into the business, and made it my own. But then once that ran its course, I was just in a rut of my career where I needed to do something else, but I wasn't sure.
You needed to find something else.
What to do exactly. Yeah. And there were actually auditions for The Bachelor in Detroit and Cleveland. And I went to those just thinking, you know what? Why not? You know, I'm a single guy. I'm a pro wrestler. I need to do something. So I'll
get
go.
Your name out there.
You know, and I'll actually tell you that I was one of only a few men there. I mean, it was like 99% women, because I mean, it's predominantly a female show. But, you know, I got a chance to speak to the producers and tell them a little bit about myself and my background, you know, and ultimately, you know, nothing ever happened, but I mean, it was still a fun experience. And then speaking to my peers about it, one of them, Gregory Iron, he gave me the idea to become the Bachelor. And it was like a light bulb moment where I thought, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
And it all fell into place too, like the gear that you saw me perform, like the single strap, the tuxedo, I got that
coming out all prissy and stuff. I like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And having the rose and having, the match and spots revolved around the rose. I mean, everything fell into place. So, I mean, those auditions really, were a blessing to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool. It's cool that you tried that too. I would have never thought I'm gonna try that shit now. So when did you start? When did you fall in love with wrestling? Like,
so my earliest memory of professional wrestling, I watched with my dad and my brother when I was like 2 or 3, watching Saturday Night's Main Event, in the heyday of the Mega Powers. I remembered when I was really young, really liking Randy Savage. And for Christmas one year, I got, careful for your water.
Yeah. You sound so excited.
Yeah.
I got a Macho Man wrestling buddy that I still have to this day that my aunt got me for Christmas. And then because I watched what my older brother watched, very much what he did. And then when he fell out of wrestling, I did. And it wasn't until right after WrestleMania 14, so 1998, flipping through the channels, I came across Superstars, and there was a highlight of, Stone Cold in his feud with Dude Love. And then the Kane Undertaker feud that was going on at the time. I saw those. Those are my 3 that I thought this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I have to find this. I have to watch more wrestling. And so I was hooked ever since. And that's, I would identify like Stone Cold, Kane, Undertaker. Those are my big 3. Those are the 3 that gravitated me towards wrestling and made me stay.
Made you want to go and figure it out.
It caught my attention, my fandom, but it wasn't until WrestleMania 17, The Rock and Stone Cold, that their title match, that's where the thought first came, I want to do this. So I was a freshman in high school at that time, and for a few years, was looking for schools and wasn't really sure of what to do. But then it fell into place my sophomore year of college. My friend Christian, he would host pay-per-views at his apartment. He'd always cook up a hamburger helper, for anyone that came by. And he had a friend that came by. His name was Eric. He wrestled at the time as Hobo Joe. We happened to share the same psychology lecture class. He was telling me that he was training at Cleveland All Pro Wrestling. So he would drive from Bowling Green to Cleveland twice a week to go train and, get some matches in and all that. So he gave me the invitation to come with him. And I mean, being a lifelong wrestling fan, I thought, yes, absolutely. This is the sign. If this is staring me right in the face.
Right.
So I went with him. It was late August of 2006 that I went with him and did the tryout, which just consisted of, taking bumps, my attempt at bumps, because and anyone that's ever been in the business, your first bumps are always terrible and they hurt the worst because your body's not conditioned to fall down for a living. It's just not. And then running the ropes, because I remember thinking, running the ropes, oh, this is going to be so easy. I mean, I've
done this in my mind many times.
Yeah.
I've done this in my mind. How hard is it to run 3 times and then just bounce off the rope and just keep going? Yeah, buddy, I was wrong. So,
oh, really? It don't spring you like you think?
Well, it does, but I mean, it's a different type of cardio where, I mean, it's explosive. You start explosive,
slow,
stop. Yeah, exactly. It's explosive, stop, that kills you, after a while.
Yeah.
That very shortly, if you're not conditioned.
I'd probably do it 4 times and be on the ground.
Might do it twice.
And you could find out, if you go to Skull and Bones wrestling school. So, I mean,
is that, are you there?
Yep. I'm one of the coaches, Trey Miguel of formerly of Impact and CK3 Crimson, however you know them. They're the head trainers there. Then like myself, Dickie Bronson and Brian Castle are the other coaches to fill in.
Castle on.
Yeah. He was telling me about that. Yep. So we fill in the gaps whenever we're available. But yeah,
Oh, it's just you. I mean, you need them too.
Cool.
Like that is good. So you had somebody on it. You got somebody. He was on Impact.
Yeah, he was on. Trey Miguel was on Impact.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. You know him and the
Just
Rascals.
up until
yep.
just recently, actually, like within a week or two, right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, really?
You know, and wherever he goes next, you know, I think that he's gonna shine.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
like I mean, I've known him since he started, and you know where he started, where he's been, what he's gone through. I mean, he's more than deserving. So I'm excited to see where Trey goes next.
Oh, that's cool, dude. You guys' camp is full of good people. I like you guys' your whole gym.
Mhm.
I pretty much
Pretty much
talked to every one of you.
at that show we saw you at.
Yes.
They were pretty much all there, almost all of them. I know they weren't there, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the Skull and Bone
Mhm.
students and everything were there at the IWR show that you guys
Oh yeah,
went to, and
the
and we met.
boatyard.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
exactly. Battle of the Boatyard. But you know, like other students too, like you know, Natural Sam Beal, who you just had on yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's representing Skull and Bones. You know, Eli Shelton, Jason Page, Big Facts, and then like many other upcoming students too that are going to be big. You know,
You got some prodigies in there.
yes, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. You know, so I mean, I'm you know, and we're very excited. I mean, from somebody that had to travel to Cleveland to train how to wrestle, and then Crimson CK3 himself initially did train in Toledo for a little bit, but he went across the border to train. You know, like it's great to have a solid school here in town. You know,
Right.
and like other talents such as the Motor City Machine Guns, you know, they're vouching for the school. Scott Demore, he's one of the main people for Impact Wrestling. Like he stopped by to check things out. So I mean,
Oh,
it's
really?
already getting noticed.
That's what's up.
Exactly.
That's good.
Mhm.
I like that. When did Skull and Bones start?
Last September.
Oh, really?
Last September. Yep. So
Okay.
we just passed the year anniversary for it. So
That's do all you guys go to? Well, I mean, without COVID, do you guys all go to Canada, or like let us know about how's wrestling in Canada?
yeah, I mean, in Canada, especially Ontario, I mean, has a huge wrestling scene, and there are a lot of great talents. You know, like myself. You know, that's where I was refined. Was in Windsor. You know, under
Okay.
Tyson Dukes. You know, Scott Demore, John Bolin, those guys. So I mean, I know Canada very well, but I mean, I've wrestled there a lot there. You know, a lot of fair shows that I've done.
Right.
And learning from guys like Cody Diener, who's a part of Impact Wrestling, was a great help. In Toronto, I mean, Toronto is a huge scene as well. That's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite cities, and it's also one of my favorite towns to wrestle in as well.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go up to Toronto, I mean, just to check out the city itself, it's great. But I mean, there's great
I've always
talent.
wanted to.
Yeah, you know, and they have a great scene up there. A lot of young talents like Alexa Nicole, you know, Mark Wheeler, you know, those people, and so many more that will be up and coming. And you know, a little bit north of that, you know, the north from Impact Wrestling, Ethan Page
At the wall.
exactly. Exactly. You know, Josh Alexander, I mean, they represent Canada as well. So, and I would say one of the best teams in the business right now. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many shows do you think you've done?
man, I have a book at home. I know that like I'm coming off, I think about 1,000 matches, just
Ooh.
about.
I love that.
But I mean, I've done more shows where I haven't wrestled, where I've managed or done run-ins.
You're definitely
You've
the
been
most
to the ring, just
experienced
not
we
in it.
talked to.
Sure. Yeah.
You-
Oh, no doubt.
You're the most experienced
I
we've talked
think
to for sure.
I was watching YouTube and I saw from 10 years ago you were wrestling who's the guy that we had on here? He's the huggable wrestler. All of a sudden,
Brian Castle.
Yeah, Brian
Yeah,
Castle.
exactly.
Brain farted.
Oh yeah, I've probably had the most matches
From 10
with
years
him.
ago, you guys were.
You
And I was
wrestled
like,
Tricky Mickey Mavis too.
Tricky Mickey Mavis. Yeah, we
Sure,
had him
yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yep, Brian Castle. I think we've had the most matches together.
Okay.
You know, period. Like,
He's knowledgeable as fuck about wrestling.
oh, absolutely. You know, and he's a great coach at Skull and Bones. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like, cause he did amateur wrestling for a while. So I mean, he's brought a lot of that to the school as well. I mean, like, yes, you know, he is the world's most huggable wrestler, but I mean, he can throw down, man.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's there for a reason, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and he's one of my better friends too in the business. You know, I mean, for a while, man, like we were like, you know, like road married. You know, I mean, that's a thing. You know, like I mean, first was Hobo Joe, then Brian Castle, and then like learning from Rhino.
It's like a band,
you know?
yeah. It's like traveling. Yeah, you're on. Why? What's your motivation to go to the United Kingdom?
I mean, it's something I've never done. So, and it's something to
hopefully get you out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, like and I have contacts in the UK, like Joey Legend. He trained with Edge and Christian.
Okay.
But he lives in Germany. I mean, and he's traveled the world so many times. He's probably one of the most well-traveled pro wrestlers ever. So I mean, he's been a great help as far as bouncing ideas off and then just saying, hey, who should I contact here? So yeah, I mean, it's something I've never done, and it's just only to get my reach out there too.
Yeah,
so.
to see. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean,
oh, absolutely,
you're branding well. So,
oh, thank you. You know,
yeah, you're doing it's good. I liked you didn't have my size in you had like a cartoon version of you.
Yeah,
that was a really good drawing. I like that.
Next time I get that in stock, man, I'm gonna save a size for you.
Yeah,
so
save a big guy one, and I'm gonna come through and grab
3X, right?
Yep, 3X.
You got it.
3X.
You got it, partner. Absolutely.
I'm a 1X. In case you were wondering,
I don't care if you give him a shirt, but that's crazy. How long did it take you to think of all that? Like when you went to the Bachelor, like how long did it take you to think of all the branding and all the I guess it comes with the persona.
Basically, what he's asking is how long from when you went to the Bachelor was your aha moment, like time period wise?
I mean, it probably took a few months for things to start clicking because as the Bachelor, I have to wrestle a certain style.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't wrestle how I did before as Big Bear, like a lot of power type things, As the Bachelor, I mean, I watched guys like Ric Flair, Rick Rude, Rick the Model, Martel. Those were my go-tos as far as getting ideas and the psychology, especially if I'm a heel. I mean, I'm somebody that's not wanting to fight. That's
right.
The whole idea, like I'm loud, cocky, arrogant, flamboyant, but anything that anytime that doesn't go my way, exactly. Like I retreat. I'm a coward. That's the whole idea. It's more of an old school throwback type of idea. And if I'm babyface too, I mean, I can just change things up a little bit. I mean, I watch Jerry Lawler as far as how he works babyface because I mean he's character too, but I mean he's all about emotion, fire, selling, things like that. So I mean those are my references, my people that I watched as far as to get inspiration. And then as far as like merch ideas and all that, like I had a leg up on that as Big Bear. I mean, because I love designing shirts. I mean, I can't draw.
Your singlet as Big Bear, I liked it with the bear paws and stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Like I can't draw worth a damn, but I have an idea and I know, good people that are able to take my vision and make it into reality, like somebody like Ben Harley who runs the Slido screen printing factory. I mean, we've been doing business for almost 10 years now, as far as like merchandise, logo ideas, things like that. And then being around guys like, Brian Castle, like was a great help because I mean, he's a merch machine too. Cody Diener is he could open his own store. Like that's how smart he is about merchandise. And I had to compete with him on shows too. Because I mean, like he has a whole giant suitcase of not only t-shirts, but also like rally towels and hats and dog chains and things like that. It's like, well, damn, like, I mean, that's a whole inventory, man. Like I got to compete with that. So
that merch, people love the merch.
When I think about merch, from our point of view, I try to think of things that people will hold on to more. I was told one time, and now it stuck with me, like lighters and pop sockets and whatever.
Right,
the little things or bracelets and
I love a bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
If I see a bracelet, I'll put it on anytime. That's my thing.
Benjamin Boone lighters over here.
You know, I'm not a smoker, but hey, that could be a
Feel the fire.
for the Zippo, you know. Like did you ever see like about 20 years ago, like WCW and WWE, they had like the Zippos, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, you've seen those? Yeah, like I'm sure you can get those on eBay now for like $10 or so, maybe more. I don't know how collectible they are, but I mean,
I'm
It
sure
might be. They might
100% they are. I guarantee they are.
Oh yeah,
It's
especially
like a kiss lighter,
WCW.
a kiss lighter, especially from back then.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like fire.
I mean, oh yeah, like especially how like cologne. I mean, that could be an avenue next for the Bachelor,
Yeah.
Bachelor cologne. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know. Here's a fun story. I did a interview with Brian Alvarez. You know, right at the start of lockdowns, he was highlighting other pro wrestlers and everything, and we were geeking out about the Nitro cologne. So he said he would mail it to me, but he still hasn't. So Brian Alvarez, you owe me Nitro cologne. Damn it!
And since you're late, send some to T-Rup.
Yeah, I stink, bro.
Yeah, you can't afford a good shower. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. Jeez. Man, you've been doing it forever, bro.
I saw Big Bear wrestled Scott Steiner.
Yes.
You tapped out the Scott Steiner.
The
That's the
recliner.
coolest thing ever.
I
Thank
said,
you.
wouldn't you?
So like I'll peel the curtain back a little bit as far as like how that
Big
match
Papa
happened.
Pump, in
So,
case you guys don't know him.
former WCW champion. I mean, yeah, you guys know Scott Steiner.
come on.
You know wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so myself and Brian Castle were on a tour in Newfoundland in Canada for this promotion called Legend City Wrestling. And it was like a week and a half long tour. And the last 2 days of the tour, that's when they brought in people like Rhino, Scott Steiner, Roddy Piper. Because that was like because it was in St. John's. That's the capital of Newfoundland. And on the tour and everything, it was basically just other towns, you know, wrestling the local talent there, you know, great up and comers there. And then like the last couple nights when that tour, it was like I was just not having good matches and things just weren't clicking. And I was like, man, like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this tour is going to be a bust, you know,
Right.
like, but then like we got to the building. I was set to wrestle one person. And then I think it was about an hour later, gentleman named Mike, you know, told me, it's like, hey, has anyone gotten a hold of you? I was like, no. Like, why? It's like, oh yeah, plans changed. You're going to be wrestling Scott Steiner now. I'm like, oh, okay. Awesome. Internally marking out because
Yeah.
big pop mark. I was, still am.
And he's kind of local-ish. You know,
Well-
he's from Michigan.
Sure. Yeah,
He's
exactly.
close anyway.
Right, you know, very intimidating too, you know, if you've never met the guy. I mean,
Right.
have you looked at him?
Yeah.
So
Right, exactly.
you know, and people, anyone that's known, you know, the history of the business knows his reputation like towards the end of WCW and how he was backstage and everything. That's kind of how I approached it. It's like, excuse me, Mr. Steiner, sir, you know, and
I think everybody, yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, so I mean, we laid out the match and it was, it was relatively easy to put together, but I mean, again, still scared as hell of him. You know,
Yeah.
I want to do right by him. And he had a valet of one of the females on tour. And we were set to go on before intermission, I believe. But the ring announcer, I guess, called intermission too early, so we were right up afterwards. And towards the end of the match, Steiner, he was set to give me like a top rope overhead belly to belly suplex. I would have been fine with it, but the ring that they used for that tour was
Janky, yeah.
sure, yeah, exactly. So which actually worked out in our favor because as Scott Steiner was in there doing Polaroids of the fans, he came back to the back and was like, hey, we're not going to do the top rope belly to belly. That ring sucks. I'm like, all right, cool, perfect. You know,
Right, yeah.
you know, we actually we had 2 matches back to back. I think that match might have been the second night. I don't remember, but man, such an awesome feeling, you know, and after the match, I got to the back and, you know, talked to Scott, you know, if everything was all right. And he's like, yeah, everything was fine, you know, and gave me a couple, you know, pointers, you know, still relatively new,
Right.
you know, so, you know, you're not always perfect, you know, you're not perfect, you know, 14 or 15 years in, you know what I
Right.
mean? But I mean, you know more, but I mean, there's always things to improve upon.
100%.
But I think the biggest confidence boost was approaching Roddy Piper afterwards and asking him, hey, Mr. Piper, did you get a chance to watch the match? Like, oh no, I was talking over the Piper's pit, but I'll tell you what, Scotty, he came back in a great mood, and Scotty's always in a bad mood. So you did all right, kid. Like, all right,
You must have did something good in there.
I must have, man. So
who else? Oh, so you
anybody that comes in chainmail and looks like that has got to be mean.
Yeah. He's not a nice guy.
He can be a nice guy.
Yeah. So what I've known, you met Rhino, Scott Steiner, and Roddy Piper. So who else have you met?
Who's in your opinion your favorite person that you've met through wrestling?
Oh man, I mean there's just so many. I mean there's like people like Johnny Gargano, like one of my trainers. I mean he's still the same person now as he was, when I knew him when he was training me.
Right.
Behind the scenes, like Roddy Piper, he was just an absolute dream to meet. And he treated you as like a lost long friend,
those types of people are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Rhino, somebody that took me under his wing, like Castle too, under his wing, go to shows, work the many shows and just learn so much about the wrestling business, about etiquette, about life to, guys like in doing extra work, like John Cena, like, just a great person, so many people behind the scenes there that are just, and just an absolute pleasure, I mean, there's just too many,
Right,
like
yeah,
not too many, not too many jerks in the business,
Well,
I mean, there's a few, but I mean,
that's good to hear from you because I've heard that the opposite at times.
Sure. And I think that comes with a particular mindset too about the business and how you view, the business and the other people within it. Like certainly if you come in the business thinking that like you're owed something or, you should have gotten this because of whatever, I mean, you're going to have a lot of negativity to spew about. But I'm very fortunate in what I've been able to do. Like, am I a guy that's on television? Am I a guy that has, billions of followers on Twitter, Instagram? No, I'm not there yet. But I mean, being able to do this much in my tenure of my career, I mean, I wouldn't have figured that when I was in high school.
Right.
Like being able to wrestle Dennis Stamp, if you guys have seen Beyond the Mat, the guy that says, "Oh, I'm not booked, Terry," that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like he's internet famous, but I mean, like being able to wrestle him, it was actually his last match at AIW, with Gregory Iron, one of my best friends in the business. I mean, how freaking cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like being able to wrestle at somebody's wedding, like
you did that. That's sweet.
Cool.
That's cool.
like one of the most fun I've ever had in the business.
That's sweet.
Absolutely.
I thought the Boatyard, that was a fucking awesome show.
Oh yeah,
I like that too, especially with the COVID shit going on.
That was our first live show we've been to.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Of any wrestling.
Of any wrestling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Period.
Okay.
I brought my kid there for his first time ever seen wrestling.
Wow.
Like I grew up on it and stuff, but we had never been.
I've never seen it, and that was a lot of crowd interaction. It was cool. I just wanted to see Rhino throw that dude.
I became a kid again. Really, honestly.
And that's so cool to hear. Like no matter if you go to you can't really go to WWE shows now, but I mean, like if you were to go to a WWE show or AEW, a bigger show on television, like you still have that feeling, but there's nothing like the independence, being up close and personal and at times intimate, with the other wrestlers, be able to meet them, interact them during intermission, after the show, things like that.
Well,
I mean,
even during the show, when Rhino's telling the kids to put up his feet and punch this guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where you have, like the most fun. And that's where you get to see, like the stars, that could be signed later on, like at those humble beginnings, like, plus, I mean, watching wrestling on a boatyard. I mean, what better,
Right, yeah.
What could be better than that?
So because since you are a nice guy, how is it when going out there and you're being the
heel?
The heel, my shit don't stink kind of guy, walking out there. How does that feel like when you're done? Like shit.
That's our secret, right? No one else is gonna know that I'm a nice guy. right?
Yeah, he's not
Don't,
nice.
don't be running your mouths.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but it's fun. It's freeing, because like I turn myself up more, of my personality, but I mean, I also get to do things I wouldn't be able to do, on a regular basis. I mean, like you can't
You get to
act like
turn
that
it.
at a grocery store or at the post office.
You
things
get to
like
turn
that.
it to 1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get to-
absolutely.
that's what Sam Beal said last night. Yeah, yesterday he said he just you
He's
take
himself.
it, you turn
Yeah.
it to the maximum.
and then whatever's past the maximum.
Yeah.
So that's to add on to that. Oh, absolutely. There's nothing more fun and more freeing, to do that. Like you saw, me coming out, lip syncing "Kissed by a Rose," my entrance theme, and then like picking somebody out of the crowd, like I'm about to give them the rose and be lovey-dovey, but then at the last second, nope.
You're not. Yeah,
Then
you're not
continue
good
on.
enough. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Tear up. That was the first time I seen him speechless. He wanted to scream, "Me, me, me! I want the rose."
yeah. I
But
just
he's
didn't
like-
want it though.
He's like, I couldn't talk.
yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna tell this dude to come give this tattooed bandit a fucking rose, and I want him to give it to me. If you would have gave it to me, we would have wrestled right there. It would have been a fucking ding, ding, ding. Let's go, motherfucker. But when I seen that you took it away, I was like, oh, that motherfucker. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't.
But there it is, though. There it is. Like that's my whole methodology. To come out like that. Like they, some people might see them. It's like, okay, look at this guy. But it's like, okay, I can get behind this. But like that moment, though, when that happens, like,
fuck
screw
that guy, dude. Oh my god, I want to see him get freaking power bomb, dude. It is good.
You know who I think is The Miz is great at that.
And that's somebody that I think is underrated,
Mhm,
because and where he came from, like he wasn't taken seriously because he came from the real world, and people thought like,
I watched it from the beginning, from that point, and I'm like, this dude, if he can do something, and then I find out he did.
Yeah, he's always a fan. He's always been a fan of him.
Always been.
Oh,
a fan
yeah.
of that dude.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. He's one of the hardest workers ever, to go from the real world and go from just really not knowing the business and then growing and learning as much as he did. I mean, he became WWE champion. He main evented WrestleMania, like
From Road Rules.
From Road Rules, So I mean, that's
From being the biggest heel in the fucking game.
He
Being the biggest.
he created that character and made he force fed everyone.
right. Like that's another person I watch too, and I don't think that he's talked about enough because of that, like he is like, if you guys play or watch like Mortal Kombat, like he is the real life Johnny Cage, Johnny Cage is my favorite
You're
MK
right.
guy too. That's who I like to watch as well.
That's crazy. You're right. Because every show needs the antagonist.
Mhm.
Every show needs that.
Absolutely.
And dude, the other guy with a little bit of hair on top of his head when he came out. What was his name?
Oh, Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. Yeah, I was like, dude, fuck that guy.
Yeah, because he sat
Fuck
down.
that
He
guy.
sat down in the crowd.
But right when I seen him sit down in the crowd, I was like, oh, I get it. He's just fucking dick.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Bravo, of Impact as well. I mean, that's a guy that's been around for almost 20 years before he got into Impact Wrestling, so like, and it just goes to show you too. It's like, good things will happen. Sometimes it takes longer for some people than it does for others, but like,
keep pushing.
absolutely, So, I mean, in Bravo, he's just so good.
Like Darren McCarty says, grind time, right?
Exactly.
Grind time all day long.
There it is.
Oh, dude, he was Darren McCarty was like a little kid at his fucking first
At that
wrestling
show,
show too, because he was loving that shit. He was like, yeah, throw him in the water. Throw him in the water.
So for those that weren't there, I mean, it was a very chilly day at the boatyard, So if he was throwing the water, he would have had to warm up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, I seen
There were a lot of nipples that were hard that night.
Oh, boom. That's a tear up quote. No.
Hard nipple crew.
Not that you were noticing or anything.
No,
but-
I know.
Yeah. Dude, my buddy lives over by where Rhino, his boatyard is, and I've been seeing him, and I'm like, holy shit, man, I really want him on my fucking podcast. And I seen he was having the battle at the boatyard, and I was like, and then he got us in. I was like,
I got tickets. I was as soon as I saw it was in Monroe, I was like, why wouldn't I?
Right.
Yeah, because I see Rhino out there all the
yeah.
time working on his docks and shit like that. And
Mhm.
I just want to be like, hey, dude, I'm T-Rup. Because I when I was growing up, I was a fan of him.
Oh, me too.
Can't tell me when his music started playing, he walked out. Yeah, in the WWE, you weren't like, yeah, dude, he's gonna fuck this
My
dude up.
favorites growing up were Stone Cold, The Rock, and then sometimes I liked Triple H and sometimes I didn't, but I loved Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels always. I like that.
He was so cocky and he was little. I
Yep.
still sweet chin music people all day,
Right.
I still use that move.
I think The Undertaker is the best. And I like Rey Mysterio after that.
I like the Undertaker. He just never resonated with me like that.
Sure.
Like I give him all the credit.
But
in the
he's
world.
always been
Yes,
there.
he's
The
always
whole
been there
time.
my whole life.
Yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
I mean, 30 years. I mean,
Even when
that's,
he was
that's
blonde.
a hell of a run, no matter where.
I
no
think
matter
he's
where
the
you are.
best of all time.
Yeah,
like
that's
he's
his
the
all-time
best
number
entertainment. Best of entertainment, period. Any sport, whatever the fuck it is, he's the best entertainer. I think.
That's your
That's
opinion.
just my opinion. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I think, that's a very valid argument too, for somebody that's, again, been there for 30 years and he's evolved
Same
so
dude.
much.
Same dude, but then he changed to the biker badass and went back to the same dude.
But he always kept the gong.
But yeah,
Sure.
He always kept that Undertaker.
yep, gong, yep.
And so many classic matches, so many great opponents. I mean, hell, like right at WrestleMania this year, when the world was shut down, him and AJ Styles, the Boneyard match,
Yep.
the world was buzzing after that. That's how a cinematic match should be done.
Yeah,
was that, Final Deletion, and Boneyard match. Those are up there. So
yeah. That's
One of my favorite matches is obviously almost everybody's favorite matches. Undertaker versus Mankind. Anything they did.
oh my god,
Anything.
yeah.
Anything they did.
Because Mankind would let him do fucking anything, bro. You want to saw my arm off? All right, bro, come on.
Mick Foley's one crazy dude.
I think he's one of the
That's
best
one-
too.
If we're gonna go like, I would be super pumped if Mick Foley were to like even just shake my hand. I don't really fangirl at all. I don't even take pictures with people. It's just I want to meet you, shake your hand, how you doing? But that dude, I might be scared to actually talk to him. I might not be able to find my voice.
he's a nice guy.
I know, of
Like,
course, he is,
like I've met him as a fan and backstage at shows too and everything, and just a super guy, and so smart, like
Mhm.
as far as yes, he did a lot of like dangerous things to
Yeah.
himself, but I mean, so smart as far as psychology and about promos and character. I mean, he had
Right.
3 separate characters
Right.
that he was able to work superbly
So successfully, yeah.
and
So-
successfully, absolutely,
And not to mention his normal name, his Mick Foley. He wrestled as too.
absolutely, yeah,
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Mick Foley?
mhm.
You silly ass. Brain fart.
No,
brain
that's-
injury.
Oh yeah. I
Breaking
see that.
news.
Breaking news. Mankind's name is Mick Foley. He's also Dude Love, and what was the other one?
Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't even know about the Dude Love. I knew
No.
about Cactus Jack. Dude Love.
I know more about Dude Love than Cactus Jack.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. So when are we gonna see you on WWE?
Well, I mean, hopefully soon, like, I mean, I've done a lot of like, extra work, and stuff there, but like, like that's what I'm working towards.
This COVID's just smashing all your promotions pretty much, right?
Right. Like I've wrestled only a handful of times, since March, but I would rather take the safe approach, to shows rather than, risk, like, oh yeah, I'm just, traveling every weekend. That's my thought,
Mhm.
like a lot of like younger guys, they do need to hit the road and work wherever they can. Do so safely, please.
Yeah.
but especially, for myself, I'm working towards the future, to further evolve the Bachelor character. And I also have like a talk segment, the Bachelor Pad, that
Right.
that I'm really going to be selling, for next year, because I think that more shows do need to have like that buffer, that in between, of talking, and plus too, promos are so important
Right.
for the business.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on television, you have to know how to talk.
Mhm.
So
That's why you're there.
exactly,
One of the reasons, but that's
Well,
why
sure.
you're at that point is
Well,
because you're, yeah.
exactly, and that's something that I would like to have pitched for shows for next year, when COVID's in the rearview mirror of being able to do, highlight other characters and get their characters over,
Mhm.
because yes, you can do amazing things in the ring, but what can you do on the microphone?
Right.
That's the step.
You have to be electrifying.
Yeah.
You got to be electrifying. You got to say your prayers, brother. And that's the bottom line. What?
What? Oh man. So you're gonna do?
Sean Woolley says, check out Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk FMW death match. He says,
shit.
enjoy that one.
Enjoy that one, boys.
I believe they had the exploding ring. So, yep. You have to watch it.
Yes, he's a Stone Cold fan for sure.
Who?
Of course
Benjamin
I am.
Boone.
Yeah, he's a Stone Cold.
Water went down the wrong hole. That's why I was coughing. Everything's safe, boys and girls,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
No COVID, no COVID.
None. Absolutely none.
So
It's sad that you almost feel like you have to say that.
I have to
nowadays,
explain
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I just had a tickle.
I saw a meme or something where like coughing became like the biggest offensive thing to do in 2020.
Cover your fucking mouth, sir. That's crazy. So what? You're using COVID shutdown times to grind harder in the gym and get your stuff more fucking
Absolutely
fine tuned.
Yeah, like conferring with other people, like the Joey Legends, about like future ideas, concepts, gear looks, things like that. Really emphasizing of what to say and what to do for future Bachelor pads that I will have on shows, things like that. So this is more of like a break period to really sit back and unwind, and I think that's been a great part. An unintended great part of COVID, is, I mean, you do need times to step back. You do need times to, take a pause and think like, okay, what can I do next? What can I work on?
Yeah,
also,
work. Yeah,
also heal my
100%.
Heal up my body, of course. Like I still go to Skull and Bones when I can. Like whether it's to offer my insight, roll around, whatever. So it's not like I'm out of ring shape, hopefully, but
right.
But
because a lot of the comedians, we had a couple of them on here, and they said that their COVID's shutting them down because their working out is
public,
going and seeing what the fuck,
right?
Is this funny? So
that's exactly. It's one thing to tell jokes in front of a mirror. I mean, but because you don't have that instant feedback, like going to shows, and plus, I mean, like I know you could probably do comedy shows on Zoom, but it's not the same thing.
No, yeah, it's like me sitting here talking to the camera. There's a delay on that too.
There's a delay, yeah, exactly.
It's like 45 seconds, and then you might see some people comment like "ha ha ha,"
maybe comments, or or maybe the reaction's not genuine. You know what I mean? So, but so yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can see that, like, those in the upper echelon, like your Dave Chappelle's, like, yeah, absolutely, you're able to run shows. But I mean,
right.
it's Dave Chappelle,
right?
That's able to do that.
He could go live on his phone and have fucking 30,000 viewers in 20 seconds.
Well, didn't he do it at his house? He just did a special at his house.
Yeah. Well, either in his house or or some like property, that, in Yellow Springs, where he lives. But yeah, with David Letterman, so.
And when you got tons
speaking
of
of Dave Chappelle, Netflix took him off because he asked Netflix to take him off, like on the Joe Rogan show or something like that, and he's no longer on Netflix.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
On really Joe Rogan Experience, he asked not to do it.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't listened to the whole, but that's the gist of the story I heard.
It's fucking
Okay,
funny.
because I thought I was on Netflix last night. I thought I saw it come up, but maybe I mean I don't know
Check
if this
it
is just-
again.
yeah, I'll check it again.
That's weird, dude. I don't know. He's a weird one though. He got his fame and he did all of his shit and he just like fucking fuck you guys.
They tried to control this show, and
Oh yeah, and
Right.
that's why he quit.
Yeah.
And I think it's great though that like he knows that much of who he is, you know, and that brand integrity though, where like having that third season and he saw where the Chappelle show was going to go, and you know, like he's told that story of doing a sketch and a crew member or something was laughing, but it came to be like it was more laughing at him rather than at the sketch, you know, that it was, you know, really cutting that line.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, I'm out of here, you
Mhm.
know. And it was able, you know, like he went to, you know, to Africa, you know, and really, you know, go into really in isolation, you know, and then like re-emerging, you know, like, you know, and I think that's a big part too of why he's so revered and why he's so good too, is that like he's not constantly out there, you know,
Yeah.
like he knows when to go, you know, to perform or do something,
Yeah,
you know.
if people get stale of you, you know, it's
You know, like not only stale too, but also like overplayed as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're on, it's the old adage of like, how can we miss you if you don't go away? So, you know, like absolutely, you know, something like, and plus, I mean, that's the day and age of where we live in, where like we see things constantly, you know, on social media and all that, you know, like you can open up your account and you could see, you know, the first few people that you normally stalk or see, you know, it's like, all right, man, I'm tired of looking at his
Right.
posts, you know, or
Why am I
whatever.
saving this post for the third fucking time today?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. It's
Dude,
like,
I just had that happen to me today. I was sitting on the couch waiting
And it's
for you
4
to
days
get here.
old too, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Like, why the fuck am I seeing this for the last 8 days, dude? I don't even know this person. What
Right.
the fuck is this? I don't give a shit about your dog.
yeah, you do. You love dogs.
I cared day one, but
the fourth
yeah,
fourth time you've saw
because
it.
as soon as I
Because
see
you
it,
already liked
I'm
it
clicking
and
off.
commented
Yeah.
and possibly shared.
Yeah, like the dog parent thing, you know, that's become, oh god, like
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
grown at that, you know.
Oh, dude, my some of my friends, actually, his girlfriend and my buddy's wife, they dressed their dogs in clothes, man.
Yeah, my girlfriend does that. I think it's weird.
Beautiful fucking Doberman dressing her in clothes, bro.
Dude, I've got a husky and she wants to dress my husky up. I was like, no,
You
she's already
fucking-
got 2 coats.
Exactly. Doesn't need a third, you know, like, hey, you know, if that makes you happy, if you like
Yeah.
that, cool. That's not my scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We can be your friend even though we don't agree with it.
Exactly.
Shit,
you know?
Sam Beal matches his dog.
I seen that. He's got a picture of
Yeah.
him and his dog matching.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
He's a good kid too. He has a
man.
good head on his shoulders.
You know, and knowing him with like where he started, you know, like he trained locally, you know, and like I mean, I saw the talent there, you know, right when he was starting, you know, but like just, you know, only working like local shows, you know, and things like that, and then like, you know, it took some time, but like really, you know, having that light bulb click, and then, you know, getting himself into great shape, you know, getting that awesome perm, you
Yeah.
know, and like
I think
you know,
that
hit
perm
the
is
road.
fucking beautiful.
absolutely,
I haven't
it is.
seen a perm like that since the 80s.
It's back, man. Slow, so go,
Yeah.
so glow, baby.
He came over
Took
in
me
his
twice to
croc.
say
He
that.
came over in his Crocs, croc,
Of
and
course he
yeah,
did. The bush
yeah, the
Crocs.
Bush ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's what he comes to the gym with, don't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know.
Nobody needs ankle support here.
Yeah. I don't care about my ankles.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, but like,
I'm a natural.
but yeah, like, you know, again, it takes time, you know, for things to click, you know, or, you know, discover, you know, who you truly are. And that's the beautiful thing about no one's person has the same journey in pro wrestling. You know, some guys might be signed a year in, or maybe 10 or 20 years in, you know, like, I mean, as long as you don't give up and you keep on the grind, you keep believing in yourself and always evolve, staying true to who you are, you know, your character and things like that, things will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
That's
good.
what Clint calls the synchronicity wave.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Well, what's your finishing move?
Well, it's the pedigree. That's my finishing move.
Yep.
You know, I've used like as Big Bear, I used like a bear hug DDT in the past. You know,
Ooh.
like top rope splashes. You know, like I've become familiar with the top rope. You know, as of late. So that, like, I think maybe
Big
next
guy
year.
with a 5-star.
That's right. I think though maybe for next year, you know, bringing it back a little bit old school. Maybe I'll bring back the pile driver as a
Ooh.
finisher. So
Dude, that would be good.
yeah,
Because I like the pile driver.
coming in 2021.
My dad
Be on the lookout.
always, whenever we're fucking around, like, you know how
Isn't that how Stone Cold broke his neck?
Reverse pile driver from Owen Hart. Yep, because he was expecting a tombstone on the knees, but then when Owen fell to his butt, you know, like if you watch the match, Stone Cold's head was protruded out,
Right.
anticipating
right.
the knees contact, but when Owen went to his butt, you know, that's when his head and spine compressed. So, but yeah, you know, mine would be safe, you know, but you know, but you know, but you know, like it'd be my favorite move in the ring and the bedroom.
The Bachelor had to do it.
I went blue.
Shit. What is your all-time favorite move? Your all-time favorite, like your favorite finishing move that you've seen?
The stunner, the Stone Cold
Stone
stunner.
I love
Stunner.
that one too.
The
Because
Stone Cold
he
Stunner.
flicks them off when they're done. I like that.
Even to this day, man, like even if it's not, it doesn't have to be Stone Cold that does the move, and it
could be
always gets a
anybody.
reaction.
Yeah.
You know, like Kevin Owens, you know, he's made the stunner his own, you know, and that's great. But man, like, you know, if you're at a show, you know, if Stone Cold were to, if you threw him enough money and did enough convincing on a live show, and he gave somebody the stunner, that would be the pop of the night. Would be that.
100%.
You're right.
100%. People talk about that forever.
You know, I mean, God, like, I mean, they brought it up, you know, when our current president, you know, in the White House, you know, like when he took the stunner, you know, in Detroit, WrestleMania 23, you know, like not the best looking stunner, probably one of the worst, but you know, like there's that meme of like when Donald Trump and the McMahon family were in the Oval Office, you know, like Stone Cold has stunned 47% of the people in this picture, including the president, you know, so you know,
Right.
it has far-reaching ramifications, you know, it's entered politics.
Yeah, they roasted him on Comedy Central, the president of the United States. It was crazy to me.
My favorites were the stunner and the people's elbow.
Yes,
those are my with just how slow he takes his. Takes that off real
how extra he was. I love The Rock for how
it.
extra he was.
I loved it.
You know, like the elbow drop, simple elementary move, and really the people's elbow on paper, in theory, it's a stupid move.
Right.
Oh yeah,
100%.
The Rock made it, you know, and this is
showcase.
no pun intended, a showcase, the most electrifying move because of, you know, the slowly taking off the elbow pad, throwing it to the crowd. He's
sniffing the air.
Exactly. The build up runs the ropes, and then like right before he drops it, if he mocks his opponent or whatever, cool, and then bam, hits it.
You're right. That is a good one. But I like the
619 one. If I'm being
I like the 619 of the good old classic choke slam, man. I'll fucking choke slam. I love choke slam people, dude.
The Swanton bomb. That's another one because they're high flying little guys.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I looked at because I'm a little guy.
Sure.
So I would jump off my couch onto my stuffed animals and do flips and
he actually swanton bombed me like 7 times in the pool when we were in Arizona just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wow.
About a month ago.
5-star frog splashed him. I kicked him right in the chest.
We went into our wrestling match and I was like, we're just gonna wing it. Because everybody was out there. We were just like, he was doing shows, and I was like, you start running, I'm gonna jump up and then wing it.
The plan was kind of the crossbody, but
Yeah.
when I actually went to jump,
It was feet first.
All plans went out the window.
Yeah.
And I just feet first him right into the chest, right in his chest.
I got up and I was like, let's not do that again.
That's
Because I jumped up thinking I was gonna get a chest on my chest. I got 2 feet.
Ooh, you went for an old double stomp.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
You know, that's what happens when you
Aerial
call the
double.
ring. You know,
Yeah.
call it in the pool.
Yeah, we called it in the ring and fucking almost fucked up. But hey, we recovered like nothing happened.
That was fun.
Just had a bruised rib cage. You know?
bruised rib cage, and you know, a little bit of hurt feelings too. So
I bounced right off of him, though. You know, I bounced right off of him.
what are you trying to say?
He's big.
He's a big. He's him. He's not even that much. He couldn't move me. I mean, I'm crippled a little bit now, but he can move me now, but not
Body
before.
positive. Body positive.
Oh well, I can beat him up in real life.
He can. He can. I got into I got into a motorcycle accident in 2018.
Oh shit!
Took it out, burnt real bad. Got a fucking little bit crippled. That's my cane right there. So,
wow!
But no, I'm almost gonna beat his ass. If I sit down, I can fuck. He can't do shit to me if I sit down.
No, yeah. If he sits down, I can't. He throws me.
If I sit down, he turns into the little guy he is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how I should be treating him. When I sit down, that's how he's like, dude, I'm not fucking with you when you're like this, dude.
I can take him down. I can get him to the ground because he's only one-legged, basically.
Mm. I see you. You're scrappy and dirty.
Yeah.
Pretend to kick him in the.
But I want it. I'm the one that starts it. I want it. I want to see if I it's like testing the waters to be a man. Like, am I still a man?
You know, he's got to pick on someone half his size and to train him. You know.
Yeah. You know, once I start slamming his ass around, I'm ready for the real world. You know? I'll be hitting skull and bones up.
Oh, that's right. You know, that's right. Open enrollment anytime.
That's fucking.
It's funny as hell.
What was I gonna ask?
I don't know. That's your own brain.
My fucking brain.
You know, I mean, brain jerk. You know, this is what happens. You know,
I'll talk about a brain jerk, dude. Right.
That was almost a Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, have you won any championships?
Yeah. I've won a fair amount of championships. Like this past year, Brew City Wrestling in Wisconsin. That's a legitimate world heavyweight championship because Steve Carino, when he was champion, he defended it in Europe. You know, so I was champion for them. For Prime Wrestling. You know, tag team champion with amazing Nate Matson. You know, if you've heard of the name,
Nope.
you know, we tagged for many years as Sons of Michigan coming up, and even locally promotion here, Powerbomb Wrestling. You know, we were tag team champions there too as well. You know, a fair amount of kind of like the Intercontinental type belts, you know, for various promotions. Like this one promotion, they had like a Mid Ohio belt. I was TV champion at a place that didn't have television, so that was cool.
Right.
Growing up, I never won. Like in my mind, when I was playing around, I never wrestled for the heavyweight champion or the world champ. I was always the Intercontinental or the hardcore.
Oh, you boxed yourself in like that, you know.
My only
As a
one was the
child,
hardcore and heavyweight championship.
I don't remember a heavyweight like a world title champion until like a little guy until like Rey Mysterio.
Right.
Like, you know, the games where you can make your own WWE
And I was already
superstar.
like a teenager by then.
Sure. You know, and I mean, even like Macho Man Randy Savage, I mean, he was like 5'10", you know, he was a smaller guy, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That was probably the smallest guy they had up until, you know, Rey Mysterio, you know, like that.
Yeah, I thought about I thought John Cena was way bigger than what he is in real life. I thought he was for when I was young, when I looked at him, I thought he was like fucking 7 foot tall. And I was like, that's what they're giving him matches to show so he doesn't get shown he's fucking short.
I had John's CD.
So did I.
Yeah. See?
That's right.
I
And Macho Man's.
I didn't know Macho Man had
Be a Man.
Okay.
It came out in 2003. I bought it opening week at a Media Play. You guys remember that store? And I didn't see it in stores after that. But yeah, it's on iTunes. You can download it. Like
I'm gonna look it up after today.
One of his songs was a diss track on Hulk Hogan. So
Oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
called Be a Man. You have to listen to it. It's
I
fantastic.
need to. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
I had those the entrance theme song CDs.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Honestly, one of my favorite entrance musics is The Brood with Gangrel.
Yep.
I love that. And they just showed up out of that and nowhere in the fucking crowd.
Coming up out of the floor like the Lost Boys. Oh, so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was honestly, those guys, when I started watching, those were the guys that actually were like, I was like, oh my God, I have to continue to watch this now. And those were the Edge and
Christian when they were vampires.
Yes. those guys before they were Edge and Christian. They were, but
yeah, before
that's when they
became-
debuted.
What were they called?
Edge and Christian.
Just Edge and Christian.
No, when
But
they were
the
vampires.
Brood, they were the
The
Brood.
Brood. Okay.
Yeah.
Gangrel was the boss, and he would come out with the cup of blood and spit it everywhere. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
That's up. They're up there with one of the best
I was-
tag team.
My entrance, if
absolutely.
I was a wrestler, my entrance, I would show up in the crowd just because of them.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a similar thing if it was me.
Shit, I remember one where Rey Mysterio comes out of the fucking
Out of the floor, yeah, but he
Yeah.
jumps up, yeah.
booyaka booyaka. And
Who's
it's-
that
Yeah,
jumping out the sky?
REM. But it was, I think it was a pay per view, and he jumped out of the thing. And I was
For the first time.
my
Yeah.
fucking guy is fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites
Yeah.
for sure.
I liked him because he the best thing I ever did was I was rooting for him hard as fuck against the Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
And when he beat the Big Show, like I could have fucking burnt the house down, dude.
I
I,
heard
was
that
so
dude's
happy.
Super nice too.
The Big Show.
The Big Show.
Have you seen his sitcom?
Actually, Adriana, my daughter, who she's 12, was like, "Oh yeah, the show, the Big Show," and I was like, "What are you talking about? That's why I know he has a show, is because she was loving it. She loves that.
Oh,
show.
I love it's
I was
funny.
like, what? Yeah, it's a cool show.
It
Little
works.
sitcom, right?
Yep, it works. It's a good one.
Absolutely.
It's nice.
It's a little funny family one, you know.
You know, and it just speaks to how versatile Big Show's talent is, you know, to
Right,
be able to
right.
have his own, you know, comedy show. And you saw that like when he was on Saturday Night Live, you know,
Right.
and they promoted WrestleMania 20 years ago, like things like that. Like, you know, he's just a naturally made, you know, showman.
And
you
that's
know?
another
Yeah.
thing. He made that because when he first come out in WCW, that I remember,
Mhm.
they didn't really push him as a talking character. He
Right.
was supposed to be a dumb, slow guy. you know?
Right. I mean, he was a giant, you know,
Yeah.
so that's, you know, a pretty one-dimensional character. Absolutely. But then like he was able to grow from that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of these
That was great.
right. A lot of them have made great careers
It's
out
another
of going
iconic
to the WWE.
Entrance.
But they always come back to the, if you notice, they always come back to the WWE and fuck with Vince McMahon. It's like, oh, we know you gave us the fucking opportunity, because like The Rock still fucks with them. Like
yeah.
I heard the Undertaker and Vince are like homies, like best friends. Like
Mhm.
I made money off
That
of you
dude
for 30 fucking
changed
years.
every one of their lives, of course.
Right.
You know?
You know, like I mean, if you've ever watched like the documentary from WrestleMania 30, where Undertaker, you know, he lost to Brock, but he was legitimately concussed, you know, and like after
It
he
was
came
real,
back-
yeah.
when he came back, you know, and how like he collapsed and went to the hospital. Vince left WrestleMania to tend to him to the hospital. Like Vince has never done that before or since, you know.
Yeah.
So that shows a level of respect and love that the two gentlemen have
no
for each
doubt.
other.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because didn't they say the Undertaker walked behind the curtain and then he actually like fell down?
Something like that, I believe. Yeah. So
Something like that, and they took him to the hospital and shit.
mhm.
What move gave him the concussion?
I don't know.
Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Period.
It might have been on the outside because there's a point where Undertaker went to go boot Brock, but Brock caught him and then like he pushed him over like on the outside. If I had to guess, it was that, but who knows? So I mean, because if even like Undertaker's carrying on the best he can the match, but I mean, for even if you have like a good eye, you can tell like he's not all the way there.
Dude,
So-
Paul Heyman, they were when they're doing the fucking interviews or whatever, like behind the curtain interview looking thing. He was like,
Backstage.
yeah. He was like, no, not like for anything wrestling. It was
Okay.
like fans.
behind the ropes or something.
I got
that's
you.
what-
Yeah,
I think
one of
that's
the,
what it's
yeah,
called,
behind the ropes. He said, he's like, what if Brock Lesnar went in there and ended the streak without even, you know, because he was still talking shit. Like I was like, dude, you're talking to fans like you're being a real person when you're talking to your fans. Like, why are you fucking still jumping on, stirring the pot? Yeah,
That's what it is, man.
and it's behind the rope. It's not
That's
like
what it is.
it's not like you're not working right now.
He's
Why are you
off,
talking?
He's off. His schedule. You're never off when you're that high.
I guess
Like, remember what I told you yesterday? A lot of times, especially with a guy like the Undertaker, when the camera's on, it's on.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're right.
No matter where he is.
You're right.
That's so. Especially if that's the dude that you're rolling with, he's gonna be the same way.
Yeah. I wonder how the Undertaker is as a person.
From what I understand, he's great. I never met the man, but
Right.
everybody, I've never heard a bad thing about the dude.
Yeah, and I think that the documentary that WWE put up, I mean, showed a lot into Mark Calloway. That's the Undertaker's real name of who he is. So I think that's like and that's great of how like now the Undertaker is retired from WWE, and he's able to open up more in interviews because I mean for the longest time he never did podcast interviews, or anything like that, just because again talking about protection of the brand, and brand integrity, like wanted to keep that close to the vest.
That's why I thought that's why I thought he's the best, is because he lived that character for a fucking long time.
Did you see him on Hot Ones?
I haven't yet, no, but
That's
I've
a
heard
good
that
one.
is
That's a good one. He opens up a little bit.
Sure, yeah, and I got to check out still the second round with Stone Cold, the Broken Skull sessions.
Oh
with
yeah, I
him,
haven't seen that one yet
Yeah,
either.
yeah. So, but oh man,
Yeah.
Undertaker has enough stories to write several books and then some.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God,
like
he wrestled every legend that ever came through,
and then some that you don't know of.
Right.
Absolutely. Like one of the very few guys up until recently that started out in WWE rather, wrestling guys like Undertaker, or not, he is the Undertaker, or like Hulk Hogan and then Randy Savage up until the John Cena's, the Roman Reigns, the AJ Styles,
Ric Flair. He did Ric Flair. He all the way to fucking AJ Styles. Everybody.
That's a long period of time and a great list of talents that he's worked with.
In order to be to the top, you have to wrestle the Undertaker.
Right.
In order to be one of the top fucking guys, you have to wrestle him. And if you wrestle him at fucking WrestleMania, just know you're gonna lose, but it was awesome.
Like one of my favorite feuds that the Undertaker had was with Yokozuna, going way back in time with that. Yokozuna, I would argue, is the best super heavyweight of all time. Especially for somebody that was 500-600 pounds and moved the way that he did, and that was his prime, from like 1995.
Wasn't he like the one with the blonde hair?
Yokozuna?
Yeah.
No. He was the large. It's actually Roman Reigns' cousin, I believe. But no, very large guy. Was managed by Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette.
Okay.
Yeah. The bonsai drop and all that. Just because of how Yokozuna moved and how well he understood his character, but like the nuances too of like how like when Yokozuna, took out Undertaker, and then like when he came back, like when the gong came off and how like he took a back bump off that. It was so good, so good. Like I encourage anybody to go back and watch those matches with him, especially since Undertaker is working with, a series of other, bigger guys that are past their prime, and just, like the Giant Gonzalez's, like nice guys as they were, just not the best talents, but then like, Yokozuna, I think, really reinvigorated, Undertaker like that. And then, fast forward, with Kane and Mankind and Stone Cold, The Rock, and then, working with, the John
he
Cena's,
beefed out
Reigns.
with everybody.
Yeah. His match with Ric Flair at WrestleMania it's one of his better WrestleMania matches. And the moment too where Arn Anderson does the surprise run in and spine buster, one of the biggest pops in the night.
Yeah. One of my favorite matches was when and this has nothing to do with the Undertaker. It's when the farewell, when Ric Flair fought Shawn Michaels, the farewell one, and he
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, he was lining that bitch up, and I was like, "You're not gonna fucking do it." And then he said, "I'm sorry," and then kicked him in the face. I was like, "No,
I'm sorry, I love you." Oh,
you shit on fucking Ric Flair. No, I was butthurt so bad.
That happened until you said that.
But it was good. I wonder, did Shawn Michaels' eye really get fucked up?
Yeah, he's talked about in interviews where I think it was like a match with Kane. I think it was where something happened. I mean,
no, he busted him through what I remember is that he got busted. He got his head busted through a TV,
Sure.
and then that was what got in his eyes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that was more of like a storyline thing, but I think it was like in real life, it was a match with Kane somewhere. I don't think it was anything too serious, but like, yeah, like that, shifted his eye. So,
okay,
yeah.
He says, dude, that was storyline.
yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Fuck, man. Yeah, storyline. You're right.
Relax into the kayfabe. Sorry,
dude. I like my one of my favorite beefs.
Hey,
One of my favorite beefs was what's Shane McMahon versus Kane.
yeah, that was,
Yeah.
When they did I forget, was it WrestleMania? It was the Headstrong song.
Headstrong, take you.
Yeah,
off.
and when
Came off the jumbotron.
he jumped off the jumbotron to fucking break with the
Yeah.
fucking elbow to break the ring. Oh my god, I was
Bad Blood 2003, I think. it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
If my memory's correct, but yeah,
Shane O'Mac.
yeah.
Shane McMahon, dude. Like somebody that, like he's had great matches and he's done like so many incredible moments. Like the jumping off, from the top rope, through the table, the elbow, like the Hell in a Cell jump,
Dude, jumping over across the entire ring.
Here
to
comes
get
the money.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Money. Yeah.
the
The Vince McMahon walk, dude.
Smells like brand new money.
Yeah.
I love
Fucking
that.
awesome, dude. You got anything to plug in?
Yeah. So
Before we do that, we're gonna ask you one more question.
please, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We just started this yesterday. This is one thing that we were like, we're gonna ask everyone this. Okay, so if you have one opportunity to tell the world one thing, what is it?
Will you accept my rose?
Ooh. Dude, I like that we started it with the wrestlers too.
Yeah.
Because Sam Beal was real cocky last night when we gave it to him.
That cocky piece of shit.
Yeah.
Of course he was.
All right, go ahead, plug yourself.
Plug
Cool.
yourself in, man.
All right, man. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Benjamin Boone 1, like the number 1. I'm on Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/Benjamin Boone. As we mentioned earlier, one of the assistant trainers over at Skull and Bones Wrestling Academy. So seek them out on Facebook, on Instagram. If you want to be a pro wrestler in the Toledo area or even past that, sign up, be your own idol. And then like Live Pro Wrestling too. That's a great local promotion too that hopefully will start back up like everything else in 2021. And gentlemen, I think that covers all my plugs. I do have roses waiting for you once we go off camera. So
yes, dude, I'm fucking so happy. Dude.
We're gonna hang it up right in the studio.
Yeah, dude.
beauty.
Yeah, you can dry them out. I got one dried. I know. I'm a plant guy, dude.
He's a plant guy for sure.
Yeah, I know how to dry them out and everything. My cousin passed away, and we got him colorful roses, and I still got that fucking rose. It's still colored and everything. It's just dried out. So I'll put them in here and dry them out, man. I appreciate that.
Of course, man.
That's it for episode 35. 30 fucking 5, dude. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much. I'm glad I got to meet you, man.
It's been fun.
Have a good ass night.